Hello, it is Saturday, June 24th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Saturday puzzle today, which means a themeless crossword and very possibly a bit of a challenge. Perhaps quite a challenge, perhaps the most challenging puzzle of the week. And this very possibly most challenging edition of the Daily Solve of the week is brought to us by Tom Nemchek, Alan Blunder, Mitchell Turek, and, as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark, the indomitable Showmaster, and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the 6 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support. They are sustaining this channel and bringing us this series every day. For that, I am incredibly appreciative, so thank you to them. Thank you to you if you're a patron. And thanks if you've been one. If you'd like to consider becoming a patron directly supporting this channel, you can head over to patreon.com/dailysolve, where you can find the bonus videos that are available to all patrons, including yesterday's weekly mini puzzle pseudo speed solve, where I solved the last week of New York Times mini crosswords. I did pretty well this week. I was pleased with my performance. And also, of course, as a benefactor, you get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, and I've just talked with Patreon support, and that has been re-enabled for benefactors. For some reason, it had dropped off of the benefactor tier. I have no idea why, but the mug is back for benefactors. So, yeah, don't know what happened there, but it's sorted out now. And thank you to everybody who is a patron. Thank you also if you've subscribed to the YouTube channel. That's a big help. Consider doing so if you've not gotten around to it. And finally, you can also join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field to that friendly chat community, so check that out as well. All right, let's move on to today's crossword. This is a debut. No, sorry, not a debut. This is a second time construction by each of today's collaborators. So Spencer Leach and Kiara Vasquez has each constructed one puzzle previously. I didn't look in to see if their debuts were also a collaboration between the two of them. But in any case, they are second-time constructors collaborating on a tough Saturday puzzle, very possibly, and it was edited, of course, as always, by Will Shorts. This puzzle will not have a theme. It's just solving clues. So let's start solving. Well, at least I assume not. I suppose it could conceivably have one. Look at this, a pretty empty grid, an airy grid. Apple co-founder Steve, familiarly. Well, Steve Jobs famously is a co-founder of Steve, of Apple, but so was Steve Wozniak, who's known as Woz. So there we go. Something's not straight. It's wavy, as in hair is often described as wavy. This and that. An oleo, maybe a sort of mixture. That could be the answer. Let's check the crosses, though. Output of some taps. Yes, you could have ale on tap. So in a bar or pub, so output of some taps could be ales. Poison ivy, e.g., is is oleo with an I there. That was my mistake. Poison ivy, a vine. There we go. Yes, I misspelled oleo. Whoops. Okay, gentle rock arrangements. Oh, this is a very clever clue. Zen gardens. I really like that. Obviously, it was helpful having the Zen bit already in there. So you could imagine a Japanese Zen garden, a gentle arrangement of rocks. Whereas obviously when you read this clue, at first blush, you think it's maybe referring to, I don't know, soft rock music or something like that. But the question mark clues us into something else going on. This looks like yoga. Relative of leggings. Yes, yoga pants, I would think. So here we have the eastern seaboard of the United States, kind of east coast area of the U.S., and exploited, abased. I'm not sure if that's definitely what we're looking for there. Let's see, kitty, pot, in gambling, kitty, pet, I don't know. Skirt, skirt could be a noun or a verb. Transported, went or sent, or could be also transported as an adjective, as in sort of, I'm transported, if you see what I mean. Words accompanying a snap, perhaps. Is that a sports thing? I don't know if it's that or if it's in a kind of, I don't know, musical performance or something. Anyway, let's look elsewhere. Rubbish. Tripe, that wouldn't fit with seaboard. I mean, presumably seaboard is correct. Eastern sea, I mean, that just sounds, that's such a common phrase, the eastern seaboard. I think that's probably the answer. Benedict Arnold sort. So Benedict Arnold, known as an early American traitor, Benedict Arnold sort. Watch. You could mind or tend, if you watch a child, you could mind them or tend. You tend a store, watch a store. So, unfortunately, that doesn't give me either of the two letters. Arrival muscles. Sorry, why did I read arrivals? Is there muscles? Sorry, I can't. Why did I read muscles in that? Is there muscles somewhere else? Where did I get that? Anyway, arrivals for short. That was strange. Anyway, in the film Arrivals, there are ETs, there are extraterrestrials, so that's who's arriving. Splits in midair. And household item whose name comes from the French for down. Oh, is it duvet? Oh, right, okay, there we go. That's interesting. And then, so a duvet on a bed, of course. And then watch, okay, so tend. So I was correct that it was one of mind or tend. In this case, it was tend. Splits in midair. I just don't see what that's asking for, unfortunately. It's obviously sort of punny, we can see because of the question mark, but I'm just not quite getting it. So Benedict, oh, Judas, I see. So Judas, obviously the biblical traitor who betrayed Jesus, and so that's being used as a general term to mean someone who betrays somebody. Okay, so splits in midair is... I have no idea what this is. Jute? What? Jote? What is this? Is this not tend? Watch. Everything here feels correct to me. Maybe I'll delete that just to remind me that I'm not sure what's going on here. Rubbish. Oh, dross. Total, that's dross. It's rubbish. It's tripe. It's nonsense. All right, so kitty is... Oh, pussy is in pussycat. Okay, there we go. So Elvis has left the building. Everybody is gone? I have no idea if that's correct. Jeet? Is that... Oh, no. Jete. That's a ballet term. Right. Okay, so that's a kind of jump and then the legs come out, like sort of the splits. Okay, there we go. Jete. All right. Now I understand. Now I finally understand why this didn't look like an English word, because it's a loan word from French, although I suppose a very high percentage of the English language is essentially a loan word from French. Skirt, let's see. Transported. What about this? Exploited. Oh, abused. Right. Okay, not abased, but abused. Yeah, that makes much more sense than abased. Okay. Transported. Words accompanying a snap, perhaps. I guess I shouldn't have put. I'm going to delete this. I just remembered I put this in incredibly speculatively. I have no idea if that's correct. Steady. Flooring that provides good thermal insulation. I don't know. Does wood provide good thermal insulation? Wood floor. 4 letters. I don't know. Blue hue could be cyan or teal. I mean, there are probably quite a few aqua. There are quite a few options. Blank season. Stronger than grease, Sloganeer. Something that needs a spell checker. Question mark. Could it mean something to do with a magic spell, maybe? Uranium source. Well, it won't simply be ore. That would be too straightforward. It can't be helped. I'm not getting anywhere here. What was this one? The spell checker thing. One of the Kardashians. Not the person to ask. Don't they all start with K, though? I think their names maybe all start with K. Steamed Chinese snack, also called char siu bao. Oh, is that I think that's a pork bun, a barbecue pork bun. I've certainly had those plenty of times. Okay, that actually fits with that K. That's funny. Okay, so I think that must be right. And then skirt is... Why can I not see what this is? Transported. Oh, born. You were born on wings. You were transported on wings, I suppose. Words accompanying a snap, perhaps. Quit something? With that Q, it looks likely. Augment in a way. Pads, maybe. You could pad a, I don't know, manuscript, augment it. Uranium source, maybe it is ore. It seemed just too general to me, but you never know. Line on a map. It's not true, you'll never know. We'll definitely know because we'll finish the crossword. Okay, line on a map. Oh, you are here. That's a line you could see written on a map. So that's a clever bit of misdirection in the sense that you read a line on a map and you think it would mean a line indicating a road or a pathway or any other of the number of things that maps can indicate, but it means a line of text. It means a line that you might read. Okay. Oh, it's a skirt to bypass. Right. Okay. So it was skirt as a verb I'm going to sort of skirt this area. I'm going to bypass it. One's waving at people who might be on their way out. Pride, sort of parade attendees who might be on presume the question mark here, I'm assuming, is relating to the word out, meaning sort of out in the sense of public about your sexual orientation. So, pride goers, maybe? Just trying to think what would be the most obvious way to refer to somebody attending a pride parade. Pride goers, maybe? Video game console sold with a robotic operating buddy. NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. And then egg on is urge. Okay, no, it's not goers. Symbol of Russia is the bear, the Russian bear, famously. One of the Kardashians, KH. And it can't be helped is... Oh, prideful. Oh, right. Okay, there's sort of two puns in here. There's the out, but there's also waving. I was, of course, thinking waving with your hands, but no, that's not what it is. It's a flag waving in the wind, say. So very clever bit of double misdirection there. One's waving at people who might be on their way at pride flags. Very good, very clever clue. Okay, it can't be helped. I don't know. I mean, this looks like it could be a sort of unusual spelling of Chloe, perhaps. And then some old accounts could be lore. So old accounts in this case, not meaning bank accounts, but rather accounts meaning stories, an account that has been told to you. So an old account could be lore, an oral history, perhaps. Okay, and it can't be helped is... I'm just not seeing what this is. Something that needs a spell checker, question mark. Can't be helped. Oh, reflex, in the sense that you could say, oh, it can't be helped. I can't help doing this. It's involuntary. It's a reflex. That's good. That's another very clever clue. It doesn't read like a pun, but it sort of is one. Okay, and then something that needs a spell checker is a... Well, I was thinking just hex, but then, I mean, Chloe looks correct to me here, especially with lore in there. So what would this be? I'm just looking at the keyboard to see if there are any letters I'm not thinking of. Something that needs a spell checker. A fee? Why would that be true? I don't know. I can't think what this is. I'm sorry. Stronger than Greece slogan here. Oh, Ajax is a claiming brand named after the hero of Greek myth for some reason. And at least I assume that's who it's named after. Words accompanying a snap, perhaps. Quit dancing around? No. Quit after a snap. Quit. I can't infer what's being implied there. Some noisy birds. Jays. There we go. Blue hue. Oh, so this could be aqua. One of the several possibilities. Oh no, it's not. It's not aqua. Cyan, maybe. Sorry, I misinterpreted where that A was for some reason. So right, it could be cyan. Quit daydreaming. Someone could snap to sort of startle you out of a reverie or something like that. Okay, there we go. Very good. Oh, exclamation point. What's that doing? Bang, maybe? Something that needs a spell checker. Oh, a spelling bee. Of course, a spelling bee needs a person who's going to check the spelling of the answers given by the competitors in the spelling bee. All right, and this is a bang, which is one of the names for this character, the exclamation point character. It's a bang. Okay, so Elvis has left the building. Everybody get out. Right, that makes more sense than everybody's gone or whatever it was that I said. Okay, everybody get out, you could say. All right, flooring that provides good thermal insulation. Oh, cork. That makes sense. Cork is an insulator. Okay. And if someone isn't right, so you could say he or she errs. They make a mistake, do something wrong. Steady. I mean, when I see this, I think beat, but steady is an adjective, and beat is a noun or a verb, so it doesn't quite match, does it? You do always want to make sure that the part of speech matches. That's incredibly important. You should be able to, in most cases, replace especially in these single word definitions, you should be able to simply replace the clue with the answer in an example sentence, and it should be able to work. So you want the part of speech to match. A noun should match a noun, a verb should match a verb. Of course, sometimes you don't know which, because sometimes the clue could be several of those things, but the answer still has to match one of them. Okay, a benefit. Well, I said a benefit as though this was a noun, but just to the point I was just making, benefit could also be a verb. But I can't see which it is. Stephen Blank, former energy secretary with a Nobel Prize in physics. Oh, I know who this is, but I can't think of his name. Stephen. It's annoying because I can almost even sort of picture him, strangely enough. Okay. Barani Bigwig. The Sultan of Bahrain. That could be it. The biggest wig of them all in Bahrain. Benefit. Oh, for your sake, for your benefit. There we go. Okay, so it's a noun in this case. Great. And steady. Maybe this is beat. Why is that the case? It's steady. It's. I mean, I can see the kind of conceptual relevance, but it's a different part of speech. Oh, no, but actually steady can also be a noun, which doesn't mean beat, but a steady as in a steady, in this case, boyfriend. So a steady boyfriend, one's beau, one's steady. Okay, it's a bit of a quaint term, but I think it's the answer. Oh, okay, maybe this wasn't Sultan then. This doesn't look right at all. Oops. Oh, am I even thinking of the right country? I'm thinking of Brunei. I'm thinking of Brunei as a sultan. Sorry about that. That was an embarrassing mistake. Sorry, that was completely incorrect. Stephen Chu is who I was thinking of, and that's absolutely who I had in mind. Okay, so what is this actually? Barani Bigwig. We'll come back to it. What about sports stud? A cleat on shoes, cleated shoes. And a bit of fiction could be a tale, maybe? You tell a tale, a bit of fiction. Fatty tuna on a sushi menu. Oh, what is it? It's Toro or it's something like that. I think it might be Toro, but I'm not certain. Integration calculation area in calculus. Calculate integral. It's been many, many years since I had to think about any of that. So I don't quite remember how it all works, but I remember sort of those vague concepts existing. Okay, considered. I'm not sure. Low bar. Be a b-boy or b-girl. Say breakdance. There we go. That's what that refers to. Malik Blank, actor on God Friended Me. I don't know. I don't think I recognize this name. What about this? It has a hook and sometimes two claws. Not sure about that either. English Channel. Well, of course, you read this and you think, the English Channel, the body of water between England and France, between the island of Great Britain and mainland Europe. Well, at least that particular body of water. But that's not what it refers to. And I think if it did, the sea would probably be capitalized. So instead, what this likely means is a channel that is broadcast in England. So, and not just in England, but in the rest of the United Kingdom as well. And that is the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation. Okay, it has a hook and sometimes two claws. It has a hook and sometimes two claws. What on earth is that? Not sure. Considered. Bore in mind? Oh yeah, okay. That fit. Oh, chic. Right. Okay, that's what I thought before, but after I discarded it with Sultan, I thought, well, it must be a chic, but then for some reason I thought it was, in my brain, I just sort of assumed, oh, that sounds like a 5-letter long word. Maybe I was forgetting the H. I don't know. Anyway, should have said it out loud, so it would have forced me to consider it more directly. Anyway, this does look like toro, doesn't it? Fatty tuna on a sushi menu. Does that work with this? Oh, coat hanger. Yes, it has a hook and sometimes two claws. Right. So it has a hook to hang on the rod, and then it could have two claws to hold trousers, slacks. Okay, Ms. Marvel actress Villani. No idea. Back to my habit of not having seen the film and television programs cited in the crossword, because I've not seen that, nor have I seen this God Friended Me. So unfamiliar with those folks. Biggest city on Puerto Rico's southern coast. How do I not know this? Oh, that's frustrating. Certain missing link. Animal? That seems too vague. I don't think that's the answer. Spree. A bender? You could go on a bender, go on a spree. Unbalanced. Batty, maybe? Maybe. I'm not certain about this. Thanks, blank, catchphrase of the 2010s. I don't know. Thanks. No idea. I shouldn't put this in because this doesn't sound familiar to me at all, so I don't want to put myself in a misleading position. I'm beat. It's late or something? I don't think that's right. 2006 play with question, why didn't you burn the tapes? What a strange way to phrase this. 2006 play with question. Why doesn't it say with the question? That's very odd. I mean, I think it's Frost Nixon, but why does it say with question? I can't tell if that's a typo or if I'm just reading it improperly. It's just oddly phrased to me. Anyway, Frost Nixon was the play depicting the interview between the British interviewer David Frost and the disgraced former American president Richard Nixon. Just made into a film of the same name. Blank season. Flu season. Some Coloradans. Well, if I didn't... Some Coloradans. I don't know. Does this have an S? They're at least a 7. Bases? Is this a pH scale thing? What about this? Summons. A draw? Your draw? I don't think that's right. Maybe this is bases. Let's try it out. Overseas sailor. I don't know. Thanks. Oh, thanks, Obama. Right. Yes, okay. I remember that. Being a sort of internet catchphrase used in a kind of... where did that just go? How did I just lose that? Oh, it was right here. Okay. Thanks, Obama. And then everybody go home. What did I have in there a moment ago? Oh, I had everybody get out. Okay, everybody go home. Fine. Fair enough. Same idea. Overseas sailor. Okay, so this Utes, that's what I wanted it to be originally, but then I just didn't occur to me to reconsider everybody get out. Okay, so there are at least a 7 is bases. It is referring to the pH scale. Overseas sailor is a limey for a British person or British sailor in particular, which I think limey is one of those phrases whose etymology is not necessarily known certainly. I think one of the possible theories is that it refers to British sailors who would have fruit such as limes in order to prevent scurvy. But I don't, from memory anyway, and I could be wrong about this, I think that is not necessarily universally agreed upon to be the etymology, and there isn't actually necessarily a clear and certain etymology of the term limey. Anyway, to refer to an English person or a British person more generally. I think it refers to specifically an English person. Summons, e.g. a writ of summons. There we go. Show up to a court or whatever. I'm beat. What a day. There we go. That's what that was. Certain missing link. Oh, ape man, right. When people talk about a kind of missing evolutionary link, I see. And then biggest city on Puerto Rico's southern coast. Is it Ponce as in Ponce de Leon? Namesake? That sounds familiar. Comment that might follow, none for me, thanks. I'm on a diet. Right, okay, don't give me any of that food. And then what was this? Ms. Marvel actress Villani. Iman Villani, I suppose, something to that effect. Okay, that's fair enough. I don't recognize the name. I'm on a diet. Good, we can put that in. Coach Pullers. Coach Pullers. I'm not sure. Low bar. Oh, an axle. A low bar, under a vehicle. It's low because it's near the road, the ground, and the wheels are mounted on it. Okay, island near Monte Cristo, Elba, to which Napoleon was exiled. And coach pullers, a team of oxen? Is that what that is asking for? And then, or a team of horses, I guess, maybe. South in Hanoi. Nam? Is in Vietnam? What? Hanoi, why is that south? Is that what Nam actually means? I didn't know that. If so, that's very interesting. Let's see if this works. It did. All right, well, there we have it. That was a tricky Saturday puzzle. Not the absolute most difficult Saturday puzzle we've solved in recent memory, but I would say on the tricky side. I think that was a bit of a tough solve. And let me know how you managed with it. We had all kinds of clues in there, all sorts of things all over the place. We had some interesting sort of phrases. Everybody go home, quit daydreaming. Everybody go home, one of those. I wonder if there's anything specific about everybody go home in this exact phrasing that is relevant to Elvis left the building, because I think I thought of at least 3 ways to basically phrase the same sentiment of get out of here. So I wonder if this one is particularly correct, or if any of them are sort of equally valid, and this just happens to be the one that was used by the constructor. I don't know. I'm not familiar enough with whether Elvis has left the building as a sort of has meaning beyond how it is used to just kind of mean party's over, folks. Anyway, I'm sure it was used notably to refer to Elvis Presley in some specific contexts with which I'm unfamiliar. Anyway, there we have it. That was the Saturday crossword. A nice, I would say, pleasantly resistant grid, and some very good punny clues. Let's see, what were some of my favorites in that regard. I thought one's waving at people who might be on their way out. That's incredibly clever. I mean, there's just a very clever, subtle double pun in there with waving and out. It's just very good, and it doesn't really feel like it's a tortured pun. I mean, it's an extremely naturally reading phrase. It's just well done. Line on a map. You are here. Very clever. Very subtle. I mean, this puzzle was really full of that. Something that needs a spell checker. I mean, this one may be less brilliant than those other two because the spell checker is still referring to checking one's spelling. So the pun meaning is essentially the same as the kind of idiomatic meaning, but still clever. Still clever. Took me a while to think of a spelling bee. Anyway, things like that all over the place in this puzzle, and I think that is what we want on a themeless puzzle. It's, it gives us something to dig into that isn't a theme. Anyway, there we have it. That was the Saturday grid. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't think I saw any corrections from yesterday's puzzle. Apologies if I missed any. So no clues from yesterday's video, and that's fine with me because it's very hot here in North London today, and I'm baking in this sealed room. So looking forward to getting some fresh air momentarily. I will be back tomorrow, of course, for the Sunday grid the big jumbo Sunday themed crossword. So do come back and join me for that. But until then, please have an excellent remainder of your Saturday. Take care.